Okay, thank you. Well, it's so nice to have you here. If you did not grab handouts as you came in, please just get up and do that. I want to just give a quick background to my experience with teams in a church setting. And my first, I've had wonderful experiences with church and church teams. However, when I was about 10 years old, we had a church bowling team, okay? And there were like 4 bowling lanes, and all these kids were on the church bowling team. Well, they decided that there were too many kids on the team. And they got together, and they asked me to leave the team. And I was the worst bowler ever. I got a score of 12 once. I mean, do you know how many gutter balls it takes to get a score of 12? There were no bumpers in those days. This was many years ago. But we all are impacted by teams that we've been on. We have amazing memories of teams. Wonderful memories of teams where teams have come together and they have just worked, they've clicked, people get along, you embrace one another, you get to know each other, you do great things, you're able to get things done. And then we probably have a few memories of teams where it's just been awkward. It's just been not quite right. Or we've struggled with people on the team or getting to know them. And actually, Anna and Neil could not have set up this class better in what they said, that you do need to take some time to get to know each other. So teams are important. I love geography. I love travel. I was in the travel industry for 37 years. I love it that people are able to go and see and experience cultures, and that they can take who they are and how they show up to all over, to all people, and bring the love of Jesus Christ with them. Whether you are traveling as a tourist, or whether you are traveling as a missionary, or whether you are going into a corporate office here in Minneapolis, you are sent to bring the love of Jesus Christ with you. And right now, I am, for the most part, going into corporations here for about the past 2 years or so. I've had my own business. And that is my goal, that what they hear, what they experience, will help them see themselves in the way that Jesus sees them, in the way that God created them. And so we are going to, let's hope this works. It worked earlier. Oh, it's not working. Just a second, let me see. We might have to call Craig the tech guy. Or I might just have to have.
Can I stand back here and do
Yeah,
it?
you may have to. It might go once.
How do I do it?
I don't know. What's up there? Maybe. You know what? Before the meeting, we had a time of prayer, and one of the ladies on the team I was praying with prayed for the technology. Isn't that the truth? We need prayer for the technology more than anything, I think. But anyway, here we go. No, it's not going to go. Maybe you can just hit as we go one more. Okay. What I'm going to do, and this is going to be quick. It's going to be very fast, but I want to get through really introducing you into an easy way for you on teams that you're a part of to establish where people are as far as their personality type is. You can use Myers-Briggs, you can use Strengths Finders, you can use a variety of things. This one is color preferences. And so it is something that you can do even with just the handouts that you have, and you can keep going with this. You will have some self-awareness to how you show up. I think it is very important. If people are not aware of how they're showing up, they are not aware of the behaviors that they have. They're not aware of where their blind spots are. They're not aware of maybe what to change or what not to change, what that team needs. So self-awareness. This type of exercise that we're going to do is going to help you Also be other aware, because when you figure out where you fall in one of these colors, you will pretty quickly be able to surmise, oh, I think that person is this color, or leans toward a preference for that. We're going to practice a few things with these colors, and then I'm going to give you a sheet where you are helping you to set goals, which is really helpful on teams because I know you are all setting goals. Now, it still isn't working. I just need to have you click through. I'll just ask you to click. Okay. When we think, and we just heard about this, God has created us in His image. He has given us these personalities that we have, these preferences that we have, strengths and skills. And all of this is founded and grounded in the Bible. And I want all of you to know that, this isn't like hocus pocus. It's not horoscopes. It's not that stuff at all. This is grounded in the Word. Jesus Christ planned you to be exactly the way you are for purposes that He prepared for you long, long ago. And you are called and you are equipped by Him to do this work that He has for you to do. And as we heard them say, that purpose and that work may change. But if it changes and God puts an opportunity in your lap, you are going to have the preferences, the skills, the things that you need in order to do those works that God has created for you to do. Have any of you done life keys in your churches? Dave Stark, life keys? Okay. Life Keys grounds, and I am a co-leader of Life Keys at Westwood Community Church where I'm a member. And these are the verses that we just base our whole study of discovery, of self-awareness, and who they are. So Life Keys is another wonderful, wonderful tool if you have time on your teams that are forming or on mission teams when you are out in the field. If you have time and the luxury of time, Life Keys is an excellent book and workbook, okay? And if I would have had a week to train you and teach you, I would have, gone into that arena as well. It's excellent. So, slide. So tonight we are going to look at color energies or preferences. It is going to, we talk about personality, and there's always, whenever there's personality, there's 4 of them. It's all the way back to the Greeks had 4 humors, and everybody's got 4 personalities. Maybe how many of you have done Myers-Briggs? Okay, lots of you have. How many of you could tell me your Myers-Briggs letters just like boom? Oh, quite a few less. Okay, love Myers-Briggs, but the problem is that people do not remember their letters, and they can't look at somebody else and say, oh, I think you're an ENTJ. It's just hard for them to do that. So this gives you not only self-awareness, but a little bit more other awareness. I hope you all have a pen with you. On your sheet, I want you just to write somewhere. Write your name with your least preferred hand. Write your name. If you're normally right-handed, write with your left hand. If you're normally left-handed, write with your right hand. Your least preferred name. Okay. Are you still writing? Okay, probably. How did that feel? Awkward. What else? Uncomfortable. Messy. Backwards. Elementary. Slow. Oh, so slow. And we've got to do everything so fast, right? Frustrating. Difficult. Okay. Write your name now with your preferred hand. Okay. Well, we don't have to wait as long because you're done, right? Okay. How did that feel? Good. Comfortable. Easy. Familiar. Correct. Fast. Okay. That in a nutshell is preferences. We have a preferred way of doing something. we prefer to write the way that we have learned how to write. Now, we can use our other hand. You did it. You were able to write your name. But it's not where you would go first. It's much more difficult. And so that's what we're going to do with preferences as well. This is based upon Jungian psychology. So most of you have heard of Carl Jung if you have taken the Myers-Briggs. And he came up and did brilliant research in personalities. He came out with 3 pairs of preferences, the way that we prefer to show up, where we go first. Introversion and extroversion, the way we react to outer and inner experiences. That's our I and our E. Sensing and intuitive, how we take in information, how we process it. And then thinking and feeling, how we make decisions. Now, on the insight discovery, we're going to use 2 of those preferences to come up with where we are as far as a color preference. So, I want you on the sheets that you have to put on the continuum, whether you are closer to being quiet or talkative. And just put a tick mark along the side, the right or the left, where you think you are most like on each one of those word pairs. Okay, is there anybody who doesn't have sheets? Okay.
Any place along the spectrum.
Anywhere along the spectrum. Just go ahead and mark your sheets of where you think you are, whether you, for each one of those word pairs. Okay, is everybody done with that? You've taken each one of the word pairs. Are you more quiet or talkative? Observant or involved? Inward or outward? Depth focused, breadth focused? Intimate or gregarious? Reserved or flamboyant? Reflective, action oriented? Thoughtful, outspoken? Cautious or bold? Now, and you look at those tick marks that you put on, chances are you're going to fall more on one side than the other side. Some of you may think, oh, I'm kind of in the middle. Is there anybody who really can't decide where they're at? Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of examples for this, and this will help you decide maybe where you fall on the introversion and extroversion. I think most of you have probably packed for a missions trip, right? Have anybody packed for a short-term mission trip? Okay, here's how you would pack. If you are an extrovert, you are talking the whole time you are packing. You have got your suitcase out and you are saying out loud, even if nobody's listening, you're talking. And you're saying, oh, I better not take long pants. I better not take shorts. I better take dresses. We're not supposed to wear, I'll take dresses. I'll put all dresses in, well, maybe one pair of shorts. Oh, I definitely don't need a curling iron. I'm not going to take that. I'll just let my hair go. I'm going to take that out. Well, we will be hiking. I'll put these boots in here. They take up so much room in the suitcase, though. Maybe I'll stuff some stuff in there. And you are talking the whole time. you are processing all your information inside your head, and then it's coming out your mouth. It is going on. Now, if you are an introvert, you are packing for the same trip. You get your suitcase out. You don't say a word. You are putting your shorts in. You're taking them out. You're putting your long dresses in. You're not saying a thing. You're putting your curling iron in. Then you're changing your mind. You're taking it out. You're putting your boots in. You're stuffing stuff in your boots. You have the same thing going through your head, but you are not saying it out loud. You are taking care of all this processing and changing and thinking in your mind. Okay, does that help?
Yes.
Extrovert, introvert. Here you are in a meeting at work, a missions meeting, a team meeting. You're at a meeting. You've assembled your team. And you have people there you're asking for. We need to brainstorm. We need to come up with some ideas for this mission conference. What are we going to do? Who are we going to have? What's our topic going to be? We need some ideas. And there are people on that team who all of a sudden, right away, they start talking. They've got an idea. And some people are looking at them like, really? That is your good idea? But they talk. And they keep talking about that idea and changing it and refining it. And pretty soon that crazy idea, they have talked it through and they've got all the rough edges off of it, and it is like a diamond. Wow, that's a good idea. They talked it through out loud for all of you to listen right along with them. And there's other people in that team. They're sitting in the same meeting, and they are not saying a word. You're looking at them like, are you here to help us brainstorm? Are you, really? Come on. And then they will say something. And when they say something, it is already a diamond. It's great because they have thought it through and processed it inside their head before they have said anything. Okay, so that may help you with whether you are an introvert or an extrovert. Okay, next slide. The next preference that Young came up with was thinking and feeling. And thinking this is how we make decisions. So do you go first to using your mind, your facts, brain, your thinking process, or do you go to feeling using your heart? It does not mean that thinking people never feel, and it doesn't mean that feeling people never think. So keep that in mind as you go through and do these checks, and then we'll talk about this. Are you more formal or informal? And so on through the list. You go there first. We'll talk about it after you do the marking. Are you more formal, informal, impersonal, personal, analytical, or illogical? Just keep going down the list and make a judgment call. Okay, you pretty well set? Okay, thinking preference people go there first. They want to know that they've got the facts, the data. They're very investigative. They're going to have logical information, and that's where they're going to go first. They need that before they can even approach a decision. And thinking people, first of all, they are going to go to, if I make this decision, who is it going to impact? How are these people going to feel about it? Who is going to be hurt by it or benefited by it? Or they're going to immediately think about relationships versus the task. They're going to think first about people before they think about the process. And again, it's so important that on your teams you realize this, because when you are making decisions, it's going to take people a little bit of time to catch up. If you are a preference for thinking, you go there first, and the feeling people haven't gotten to that part of it. And the feeling people have to get to that thinking part, and vice versa. Eventually, thinkers get to the feeling, and feelers get to the thinking. They just do it in the reverse order. It just takes a little while. So you might even use language that helps that with your meetings. When I went to Ukraine on a short-term missions trip, that's one of the things in our prep for going. They said, in Ukraine, it is best not to use the word feel. They haven't spent a lot of time feeling about things. They don't approach things by feeling about things. They think. So don't say, how do you feel about that? Say to them, what do you think about that? Because in their culture, they were just unable to have that luxury of feeling. Kind of interesting. It was eye-opening for me. And we were working with kids, and I saw that. Even in children, you were much better connected with them if you talked in terms of thinking. So thinking and feeling. Now, if you just go to the next slide. Thank you. Young's preferences, and just pop through these. There's 4 clicks to this. Just pop through all 4 of them. The simplest format for this insight discovery, the color preferences, that is a wheel, a color wheel. And it's laying these 2 preferences on top of a circle of color. So if you are thinking and introverted style, you are in the blue. Here, I need to go up here. I need a pointer, and my pointer's gone. So if you are more of an introvert, you are in this side of the wheel, the blue and the green side of the wheel. This is introversion. If you are an extrovert, you are on this side of the wheel, the red and the yellow energy. And we're going to talk about each of these quickly in a minute. And then if you are on the feeling, if you go first to feeling preference, you are in the bottom hemisphere, the green and the yellow. And if you are thinking, you are in the blue and the red. So each one of these preferences overlaps to be a certain color energy. And I am going to give you descriptors of these color energies. And while I go through them, I want you to think about who you are, which one you are most like. And on your note page, you have a place to take notes. And I'm going to have you decide if you are the most like 1, 2, 3, 4, and put those numbers in the middle. You also have a sheet of descriptors of these color energies on good days and bad days, so you don't have to write all of them down. Okay? So let's go through these slides. And just do one more. Okay, we're going to start with cool blue. So if you are more preference for cool blue energy, your approach to life, you have high standards and are correct. Your goal is to understand things from a logical perspective, and you may be seen by others as analytical and distant. Blue energy preference people like data and logic and questioning. They're more formal. They're precise. They're sometimes perceived as a little bit arm's length. They can get what some people feel is a little bit nitpicky, a little bit too much down into the detail, just digging for information, not wanting to proceed, not wanting to make a decision until they have absolutely everything that they can think of. They want to investigate and analyze. Maybe that is you. And think about when you have these people with different preferences on your teams, how that can impact your team. Okay, let's go to the next one. Maybe that is you, the blue. Earth green energy. Their approach to life, they focus on stability, values, they like to support others. Their goal is harmony. They want people to get along. They do not want conflict. And sometimes they can be seen by others as being a little bit mild-mannered or docile. They have empathy. They are excellent listeners. They want to understand. Relationships are important to them. In just really, really getting to understand people. They have high values and loyalty. In fact, they are motivated by what they know is clearly in their value system. So you might be earth green energy. This one. Okay, sunshine yellow. Sunshine yellow's preference is they have approach to life is fun and interaction. Their goals, they like to be recognized. And also they can be seen by others as somewhat disorganized. Sunshine yellow, they are sociable, they're dynamic, they're persuasive, they're enthusiastic, they're exciting. They are excellent at selling a vision, capturing people's attention, being a cheerleader for something that they can see what it is going to look like. They can envision something and they can talk about it. They don't necessarily have all the details and they might not even need them, but they are enthused about it. They say yes to lots of things because they want to be involved. They want to be involved in stuff. They say yes, and so that's why they can sometimes be disorganized, because they are just spinning lots of plates all the time because they said yes to so many things. So maybe you are sunshine yellow. Last one, red. Approach to life. They have an inner certainty, a focus on action. They have personal achievement, and they like meeting challenges, and they may be seen by others as being somewhat impatient. Fiery red is very purposeful. They're focused. They're driven. They're courageous. They set goals. They are achievers. They want to check things off the list. They want to get it done, and okay, fine, let's move on. They can, as it said, be a little impatient. They can be seen as being somewhat driving. They're driving toward a goal when the blue energy person is still waiting for more detail. So there can be some conflict in those. So, as you think about each one of those, as you look at those descriptors, which one do you think you are most like? And go one more slide. So, I want you to put on your note page which one you think you are the most like, the second most like, the third most like, and the fourth most like. Because we are all of them. We just have some more than others as a preference. Okay? So figure out 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so everybody got their 1, 2, 3, 4? The reason I want you to really have the 1, 2, 3, 4 is because we sometimes are going to be in situations where we need to be something that we don't necessarily prefer. And it's really important, I think, with all of these. It doesn't matter if it's Myers-Briggs or Strength Finder or Insight Discovery or anything. You may be more towards certain strengths. But that does not mean that you might not have to use things that you are not necessarily strong in certain situations. So I maybe can say, well, you know what? I don't have very much blue energy. I don't have a preference for data and analytics and details. I can't take care of the missions team budget. Nope, can't do it. Can't do it. Somebody else has to do it. No, I could do it. It's going to exhaust me. It's going to make me tired. It's going to stress me out a little bit because, no, it's really not my thing. I could do it, and I could do it well because I have a strength of responsibility, and I would kill myself doing it well, But you can do things that are not in your wheelhouse. But when you do that, you do realize it does take some strength away from you. It takes energy away from you. But you can dial it up. And sometimes you also need to push it down. You might have just tons of green energy preference and be wired just to care deeply and just not ever want to have any conflict. But let's face it, there's times that you've got to set that aside and you've got to maybe get some things out and have a little conflict to clear the air and get on the same page and have things eventually go along better. You might be totally sociable and want to engage and be involved in everything and say yes to everything that somebody's asking you to do. But you need to just be able to just say no to certain things and yes to others where God is leading you and not be just all over. So dialing these up and dialing these down is possible. It's not an excuse for behaviors that you don't want to do or an excuse for behaviors that are inappropriate or not helpful. So just kind of keep that in mind. You all have 4 of them, but you have an order of where you'd go first, second, and third. Okay? So I want us to do a little activity, and you want to go to the next slide. And these are the good day, bad day energies. We'll come back and talk to them if we have time. Just keep going. Go one more. Okay, so there are 4 different places, and this is the shape of the wheel. We've got red and yellow, which is our extroversion. We have blue and green, which is our introversion. We have red and blue, which is thinking, and we've got green and yellow, which is feeling. And I want you to go to the flip chart of your most preferred color energy. So everybody just take your paper. It might help you with some of the descriptors. But just go. There's markers at the bottom, and once everybody gets there, then I'll tell you what I want you to do. Okay. This is what I want you to do. Is everybody gathered? Oh, look at this. We're almost a balanced team. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh, well, our yellow's a little sparse over here. Well, that's okay. They've got a lot of energy. They'll make up for it. Okay, so this is what I want you to do. I want you to have one person be a right. There's a one, and stay to one flip chart page because there's 2 of them, but stay to one flip chart page. And take markers, right? And just for the rest of the team, what is it that you would like the team to know about you and your color energy? This is what the green preference would like the rest of you to know about them, and so on. Take about 3 minutes and write, and then we're going to share those quickly. Okay? Just start yelling out things to your scribe. This is who we are. This is what we want you to know.
What do we want the other colors?
Okay, our red has definitely, they're the goers. They've already got something on their flip chart. That's good. Yeah, it flipped. Yeah, it flipped that time. So I don't know.
You don't like it when you yell.
Are you getting a chance to say anything in this group? Get right up here. How's all this blue energy people doing here?
Realistic? Being asked to brainstorm something, but only one of the positives. Okay. Helpful for us to do.
We will provide both the positive and negative aspects of whatever. Okay.
This whole quick session should be kind of unsettling for this group. I mean, you're just like, really?
We're able to write stuff down.
I know. I mean, you're really doing well.
We need to think about it before we write something down.
I know, and I cannot believe that you've got this much on the paper.
It's bothering me that she's not using blue.
Yeah, well, I know. Well, but she is writing it on a nice straight line.
I'm really awakened that one.
She is.
Like you said, meetings, I'm always writing meetings over. We're done. Move on.
I love it. That's a good one. That's really good. Okay, I know you haven't had a lot of time, but everybody's got something down, and we're going to just quick, who's the spokesperson in this group? Who can talk loud? Talk really loud. Okay. Our green preference person is going to share. Okay, our yellow energy social, well, you need to stop. Okay. It's always the way it is. All right. Go ahead. Very loud.
Green people typically have a lot of empathy. They're caring, thoughtful, patient, reticent to speak, loyal, reserved. We prefer that you not yell at us. We don't like being pushed. We're concerned about relationships, and typically reflective and quiet.
Very good. I love it. Very good. Let's give them a hand. Very good. Okay. And this group, I'm really interested to hear what our blue preference people have to say. Who's our spokesperson?
I guess.
You have to write and speak? Oh.
Sure. We are inductive. With us, you'll find safety and security because we think things through. Please give us time to process. We're accurate. We need all the info before we can move forward. And warning, when we are in discussion, we'll provide positives and negatives to points of view. So
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Very good. Clap, 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 clap. Okay. I like the safety and security. That's a good one. I've never heard that one before. Okay, red energy spokesperson.
Okay.
Come on.
We make decisions and stick with it. We need all the facts. We can't help but have an inner certainty and confidence in our own way. We need help remembering how this affects others, and check marks are therapeutic.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Clap. Okay, one thing I want to say about this, and if we had an 8-hour workshop on this, we could do deep dives into this, but the red and the green energies are opposite. Okay? The blue and the yellow energies are opposite. And even the way, like, they need help. They need help thinking about people. So if you look across the room or on your teams of people that you're working with, find the person who is your opposite. They are your best friend, because what you are, they are not. And what they are, you are not. Great combination, but it is in those opposites sometimes that you really can have disagreement. So learn to embrace them. Okay, our yellow energy preference people. Who's our spokesperson?
You. Okay.
Okay.
We care. Yeah, we care a lot.
Okay.
And we try really hard. And we like to think positive. We tend to overwhelm people, or we kind of are scared that we do. And we know how to laugh and have fun. And sometimes we overcommit, so we get overwhelmed. And then we love to talk, and we sometimes are indecisive. And I said, are we indecisive or that? And that was my question I had. I'm like, yeah, I think we are.
Okay.
And we know we need community. We know we need someone to walk alongside us and help kind of hold us, rein us in.
Okay, good. Clap. Very good. Thank you. Did you know? Look at this. Look at this. We. All they think in community. They think collaboratively. They just always include people. They're sociable. They are not out there by themselves. They are thinking in terms of we. And all of those things are so important. I mean, this group, the opposite of that group. The blue energy preference people, they really don't think in terms of we a lot. They will get there. But they will think about, I need this information. I need to pull this together. They need to do it for themselves so that then it is for the benefit of others. So eventually you get there. Okay, very good. I want you just to stay where you're at, and I want to just have us think through a few. This actually was working now. When you know how team members show up, I mean, if you can just do something where you can do those two preferences, you can put them on this color energy preference wheel, and you can figure out how they are going to approach things initially. So even if you take each of these preferences and think about, take for example, strengthening relationships on a team. How would each of these energies, preferences, strengthen relationships with the team members that are on the team? And if you want to pull off that flip chart and write what you're thinking on the second one, do that. How would you strengthen relationships on a team? What would you do to strengthen relationships on a team?
Yellow's also don't listen. Strengthen relationships on the team.
I would think
My card and flyers right there. Thank you for coming, Coach. Yeah.
Work for others, so they need to allow other people to have their opinions and speak. What was your question again?
Are you wondering what would be our natural way?
Right. Right.
Not how we should.
No. How would you do it? How would you? Right. What you would
What do we
lean.
need to do?
Not need to do what we do.
Yeah.
What we
What would your first inclination be? Well,
We'd organize it. Technically, by communication.
Because that might not necessarily strengthen. So the goal is.
But when I turn or say,
Okay. What does the green preference have? What would you do to strengthen relationships? Okay. What would you do? Okay. Let's just stop. What would they do?
We would listen, first of all, to the other people and seek harmony in that, and value and validate the other people's opinion, empathize with them, give grace, meet needs if possible, be mindful of each person and engage with them and spend time together.
Okay, very good. Again, around that, listening, extending grace, spending time with them. What does our blue energy have?
I would suggest that we could have one-on-one with that opposite person.
Exactly, very good.
And gain understanding of the team issues. Again, like needing more information before we can move forward. And we might be good at analyzing how best to organize the team in terms of how it can work better together. And hear from others on the team as they share their thoughts, ideas, feelings.
Yeah, exactly. So again, taking that where you land, that gaining understanding, analyzing things, but reaching out with things that you've already learning. You're learning this one-on-one, which this team talked about too. So yes, you will have different ways of approaching that. Okay, what about our red energy?
We put organized team development. So data gather on each person, Myers-Briggs, strength finders, temperaments, getting to know those things.
Exactly. Let others have opinions and learn to listen. This is really, the red energy wants people's opinions. There's a strong preference for that. And so you ask many times, but then you're so far down the path already that you didn't really listen fully to the whole thing. So I love what this team has put into that. That's great. And this team also said, is it what we would do or what we've learned to do? And that's the whole point of this. Really, we have these preferences, and they show up when we're just reacting or under stress. But we can use them very, very intentionally to come across, to learn, to go with those preferences, but then continue to expand and tap into people around us that kind of approach things differently. Well, here's tap into, right? Okay, so what's this group going to do?
Yeah, tap into each other's strengths and weaknesses. Be vulnerable. Like, when I heard that we're needed, that like, whoa, really? They don't have it all together? Like, we need each other. Yeah.
Right.
So, clear and concise communication, unify through laughter, and celebrate victories.
Absolutely. This depicts exactly how people think differently. This team over here is thinking about celebrating. They're thinking about the end result, the victories. They're talking about communication. They're telling stories. When you have success on the mission field, when you have success in raising money for a fundraiser or missions, you need somebody to celebrate that. Not just to go on to, oh, good, now let's be on to the next thing. No time for that. Let's just get going. Let's analyze it. We're going to get into everything that worked and why it worked, and then we'll know what to do next time. And these people, they're just harmony, and just, they love it. They're just happy. And they have a chance to care about people. So every single one of these is amazing. Every single one of these preferences is great. But we can learn so much from other people. And you can take each one of these and think about anything. When somebody joins the team, how do the people react to somebody joining the team? When somebody leaves the team, what does that do to the team? And what do people do when that happens? Each one of these colors will approach that in a different way. So, last thing, goal setting. Goal setting for some people is really hard. And I have found if people think about goal setting using the color energy, it is easier. And think of it as each one of these, you maybe would go there first, but as a team you can goal set together. You can set a goal together. So step one, articulate whatever your goal is. Step one. Step two, think about why. When you need to know the whys behind the goal, the blue energy preference people are going to be able to articulate that much more clearly than the yellow energy preference. So tap into the blue energy. And tap into this yourself too if you're setting a goal for yourself. Remember, you have all four. Dial them up. Push them down. And then step 3, write down the actions needed to make it happen. That is a natural for these people. They know when you set goals, you've got lists and you've got check boxes and you are working that list. You know what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. And then visualize. Visualize yourself having achieved the goal. They're already seeing the celebration. They know it's going to be a success. These people pray with vision. They see what is going to happen, what is possible. They don't see just what is. They see what is possible. And then, step 5, engage support. Who are the people that you are going to need to really go through these actions to get to that end result? These people are connectors. They know people. They've talked to people. They network. They remember who knows what and where they are. And these people have got a lot of resources, and they can articulate that. So that's goal setting. Okay, we've got just a few minutes left. Pop back to your seats quick, and we're just going to wrap up.
It might actually be green in.
So I wanted to wrap up with 2 things because I'm just 2 different things that are important to me as I've gone into this line of work. I've gone into really, people having self-awareness is extremely important to me. I think it makes such a difference in how they show up. And the reason is, when you have self-awareness of yourself, it also creates other awareness. And I hope that just standing even around the room tonight, that did that. You are aware of self, but you are aware of other people. It's not self-absorbed. It's self-awareness. There's a big difference, okay? And then that self-awareness and other awareness leads to understanding so that you can adapt and connect how you communicate, how you do work, how you collaborate, how you get to end results. That adapting and connecting changes, and you're able to be very intentional and conscious about who you are, what you're doing, and what you're doing together. And it leads to valuing. It's always about valuing the person, how God has created them and what they bring. It's valuing their strengths. It's valuing their preferences and what they bring to that team, because every single person is important. As I thought about what really self-awareness is, and I gave this a lot of thought as I was thinking about launching out into this business, about using tools like Insights Discovery for self-awareness. What is so critical about self-awareness? And self-awareness, to me, is the thing that more than anything else leads us to sin awareness. If we are not aware of ourselves, we are not aware that we are sinful. We are sinful beings, and that leads us to Savior awareness. If we are not aware of our sin, we do not become aware of the Savior, what Jesus Christ did on that cross for us. Self-awareness, sin awareness, Savior awareness, and then servant awareness. You have that awareness. Christ himself gave his life for each of us, for our sins. And because of that, you have been called. God has purposed for you a heart for missions, whether it's here, whether it's near, or whether it is far. You have the opportunity to serve and to serve with love. So I just extend my blessings to you. Thank you for your time this evening. I've loved doing this quick workshop with you. And please, if you have questions, send me an email. I know it's been really fast, but you've been great sports and have just moved quickly, and I've loved it. So thank you, everyone. Thank you.
and then